Wednesday, July 30th, Salem is anything but quiet today. Because this midweek chapter of Days of Our Lives delivers eerie warnings, emotional collisions, and truths that refuse to stay buried. A psychic sounds the alarm. A mother starts connecting the dots. And someone's deepest heartbreak is laid bare for the world to see. Ready to dive into the mystery, madness, and moments that could change everything? Let's break down every secret, every spark, and every soul-searching stare, happening today in Salem. Susan Banks has always walked the line between the supernatural and the surreal. Her eccentricity is infamous in Salem, but what happens when even she is too afraid to laugh? Today, Susan is anything but whimsical. Her hands tremble, her breath shortens, and her eyes, they dart like someone being watched. She rushes into the DeMera mansion, clutching a deck of tarot cards so tight the edges are bent. EJ, she gasps. He's back. Or, something is. EJ DeMera, ever the cynic, raises a brow. What is it this time, Susan? Another dream about a talking cat in a tuxedo? But this time, Susan doesn't smile. I'm serious, Elvis Jr., she whispers. I felt it. In my bones. I heard his voice in the walls. I saw shadows where there were none. She claims she was meditating when a vision consumed her. An old, velvet chair rocking by itself. A cold wind blowing through sealed windows. And the name, Rachel, whispered over and over, in Stefano's voice. Susan's voice cracks as she pleads, he's not gone. And if it's not him, it's someone trying to be him. Someone who's dangerous. EJ tries to rationalize it, says she's grieving, that her mind is filling in the blanks. But deep down, even he feels a flicker of unease. Because Susan may be eccentric, but she's never wrong about danger. And when she says Rachel Black is connected to all of it, EJ begins to realize the past may not be dead after all. It may just be waiting to return. Inside the courthouse walls, pressure mounts like a ticking time bomb. Reporters linger outside. Cameras are flashing. Whispered speculation snakes through every hallway. But in a quiet corner, away from the noise, Johnny DeMera and Chanel Dupree find sanctuary in each other. They sit on a bench, side by side. No handcuffs. No legal files. Just hearts, heavy and honest. Johnny runs his hand through his hair, exhaling slowly. I don't know how much more of this I can take, Chanel. Every time I walk into that courtroom, I feel like I'm already guilty. Chanel leans in, placing her hand gently over his. You're not alone in this, she says firmly. I'm right here. I've always been right here. He turns to her, vulnerability cracking through his normally composed facade. Do you ever wish you hadn't come back? That you'd walked away before all this mess? Chanel pauses. Her eyes glisten, but not with regret. With resolve. No, she says softly. If I walked away then, I would have missed the chance to stand by the man I believe in. The man I love. Johnny's eyes search hers, as if trying to find something stable in a world that's falling apart. They kiss, not out of passion, but out of need. A desperate need to feel something real. As the storm outside the courtroom rages on, accusations, lawyers, family pressure, the storm inside Johnny calms, if only for a heartbeat. But in Salem, even love this fierce isn't safe from the truth. Because someone in that courtroom is lying. And when that lie comes crashing down, Johnny and Chanel's future might crumble with it. The walls of the Kuriakis' mansion have seen plenty of secrets, but few as volatile as the one simmering today. Sarah Horton Kuriakis has been suspicious for days. Whispers, inconsistencies, and now, proof. She walks into the sunlit sitting room, holding a manila folder in her hands like a weapon. Inside? Sophia Choi's medical records, and one word stands out in bold, mail. Sophia, lounging on the couch and pretending to read a magazine, looks up as Sarah approaches, eyes narrowing at the sight of the folder. Sarah doesn't waste time. This says you're having a boy, she states coldly. So why is everyone in this house still buying your fairy tale about a baby girl? Sophia freezes. There's a beat, a flicker of panic in her eyes, before she tries to smile it off. Oh, that must be a mistake. Those things happen all the time, right? Misread charts, wrong files. But Sarah isn't in the mood for deflections. Her tone sharpens. I'm a doctor, Sophia. And a mother. I've read enough of these to know this isn't a clerical error. You lied. Sophia shifts uncomfortably, her fingers gripping the armrest. It was just a mix-up. The ultrasound technician corrected it later. No, they didn't, Sarah interrupts. I called the clinic. They never issued a correction. The air turns ice cold. Sophia's carefully constructed facade begins to crack. Her voice trembles, her pupils dilate, and she looks for an escape, but there is none. So tell me, Sarah says, stepping closer. What are you really hiding? Was it ever about a baby girl at all, or are you covering something much worse? Silence. Sophia looks down. Her throat bobs as she swallows. But she says nothing. That's when Sarah's expression darkens, not with anger, but with dread. Did you switch babies? She whispers. Is that why you've been acting so erratic? Because the baby in those adoption papers isn't yours? Sophia's lips part, but no words come out. Her hands begin to tremble. Whatever she's hiding, it's bigger than anyone thought. And Sarah may have just stepped into a conspiracy that reaches far beyond one lie. Under the golden summer light of Salem Park, Tate Black sits alone on a worn bench, his shoulders hunched and head bowed. The world moves on around him, birds chirp, children laugh, but for Tate, everything feels still. Moments ago, he thought he had a future with her. The girl who made him laugh. Who made his heart beat faster. Who said she cared. But now, she's gone cold. Distant. The goodbye wasn't even dramatic, it was quiet. And somehow, that hurt worse. He replays the conversation over and over in his mind. I just don't think we're on the same page. You're sweet, Tate, but I need something different. Each word digs deeper, echoing in the hollow space where his hope used to live. He doesn't cry. He won't let himself. Instead, he stares at the gravel path in front of him, fists clenched, trying to breathe through the sting. That's when a familiar voice cuts through the silence. Tate? He looks up, startled. Maggie Horton stands a few feet away, holding a paper bag from the bakery. Her eyes soften when she sees his face. Without a word, she walks over and gently sits beside him. For a moment, neither says anything. Maggie just waits. Then, in a whisper barely louder than the breeze, she says, "You don't have to pretend you're okay with me." Tate's jaw tightens. His eyes are glassy, but he blinks the tears away. I thought she liked me. I really did, he murmurs. And now I feel like an idiot. Maggie places a comforting hand on his shoulder. You're not an idiot, sweetheart. You're human. And heartbreak, especially the first one, it never leaves you the same. She smiles softly. But it does teach you what love should feel like. Tate nods, still trying to find strength in the middle of the wreckage inside him. And as the camera lingers on them, two generations sharing a moment of quiet understanding, the audience feels it too. This is more than just a teenage crush. It's Tate's first fall into the brutal, beautiful mess of love. And the first step toward becoming who he's meant to be. At the Kuriakis estate, where conversations often carry hidden meanings and smiles rarely reach the eyes, Holly Jonas feels more alone than ever. She's just a teenager, but already, she understands the art of pretending. Pretending not to hear the whispered arguments behind closed doors. Pretending she believes the stories the adults spin with careful words and fake calm. But today, she can't pretend anymore. After overhearing another hushed phone call between Nicole and EJ, words like, Stefano, cover up, and, Rachel can't remember, something inside Holly snaps. She doesn't understand all the pieces yet, but the feeling in her gut is unmistakable. Danger is coming. With silent steps and tear-glossed eyes, she slips away from the noise, searching for the only person in the house who never lies to her, Maggie Horton. She finds her in the conservatory, trimming the edges of a potted orchid. The warm afternoon sun spills across Maggie's face, and for a moment, Holly just stands there, watching the only adult who feels real. Maggie looks up, sensing her presence. "Holly," she says softly, setting down her shears. "That's all it takes." Holly rushes forward and collapses into her arms. No words, no explanation, just need. Maggie pulls her close without hesitation, wrapping her arms tightly around the girl who's barely holding it together. They sink onto a nearby bench, and Holly buries her face in Maggie's shoulder. Her voice, when it finally breaks free, is muffled and shaking. "Everyone's lying to me. I know it. I hear them whispering, and no one tells me what's going on." Maggie doesn't argue. She doesn't try to fix it. She just holds Holly a little tighter and strokes her hair like she used to do when Holly was younger. "I know, sweetheart," Maggie whispers. "I know it's hard, but you're not imagining things. And you're not alone." Holly pulls back slightly, searching Maggie's eyes. "You believe me? I always have." That moment, that confirmation, is everything Holly needed. For the first time in days, she exhales, like someone who's been holding their breath underwater. Maggie continues gently, "The truth has a way of finding its light, even when people try to bury it. And when it does, you'll be ready." There's no magic fix, no sudden clarity, but there's safety. And in Salem, where betrayal lurks in every corner, this quiet, unwavering bond between Holly and Maggie becomes a refuge. Still, a question hangs in the air, unspoken but heavy. What exactly has Holly overheard? And could her instincts lead her to uncover a truth someone is desperate to keep buried? Because if there's one thing that Salem has taught its youngest, it's that being silent doesn't mean you're not watching. And Holly Jonas? She's watching everything. Secrets are unraveling in Salem today, but the answers? They're still just out of reach. Susan's warning has EJ on edge. Sarah's confrontation with Sophia may expose a devastating lie. Tate is nursing his first true heartbreak. And Holly might be the next to stumble upon a truth that changes everything. But one mystery looms large above them all. Is Marlena finally on to the real shooter, and is Rachel hiding the unthinkable? As the pieces shift into place, Wednesday's episode proves, even the quietest moments can shake the ground beneath our feet. So what do you think, Days fans? Will Sarah catch Sophia in her web of lies? Is Susan truly hearing from beyond, or spiraling again? And will Marlena expose a secret that even the Damaras can't bury? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear every theory, every prediction, and every wild hunch. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and join us again tomorrow as Salem's storm continues to build. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay dramatic.